Pastel Park is a city designed to never be gloomy. Every building is painted in soft, candy-like colors, arranged meticulously. And every morning, laughter echoes through the city's loudspeakers, reminding citizens that today you must be happy. Mother, smile, my child. Today must be a happy day.
In this city, happiness isn't just a feeling. It's counted, measured, and compared. Whoever has a higher score is considered more valuable. But Taidy doesn't care about the announcement of her daily happiness score. Those numbers never caught her eye. The announcement: don't forget to check your daily happiness score.
Taidy could smile, but she never understood why she had to smile all the time. She was only interested in looking at the sky, a sky that was never counted towards the score, and she never told anyone how happy she was. Her mother often whispered, "In this city, if you don't smile, it's like breaking the law." Taidy, why do we have to smile all the time? One day, Pastel Park Town Square was filled with sweet-colored balloons. The stage was beautifully decorated. The mayor, in a light blue suit, took the stage with a well-rehearsed smile, looking more prepared than ever. It was as if today was the day the town would be most proud of. Mayor, it's time for us to choose a new caretaker of happiness. Whoever makes our city the most superior, that person will win. Rhythmic applause erupted. The rules were simple, but held a heavy weight. Whoever is recognized as the most superior wins. Superiority is measured by the number of candy coins, and candy coins can be bought with anything that makes others feel inferior. From that moment, the city began to change, little by little. Compliments became conditional. Smiles began to have a price, and happiness was no longer just a matter of feeling. Instead, it became a commodity that everyone wanted more than anyone else. Why does happiness have to be a competition?
Since the election announcement, Taidy's house has never been quiet. People have been visiting constantly with seemingly well-intentioned words, but hiding deep expectations. A neighbor said, "Your daughter seems so innocent. If she doesn't run, people will think this family isn't cooperating with the town." This is the kind of child who would be perfect as a symbol for the town.
Taidy's father clenched his fists. Her mother asked a simple yet agonizing question. "Do you want to do it?" Taidy shook her head. "I just want to watch the clouds." In this city, not taking sides doesn't mean being neutral. It means being pushed aside. Finally, Taidy applied to be a new caretaker of happiness. She didn't buy anything. She just handed out homemade snacks. She sat and listened to something nobody wanted to hear. She spoke on stage in a clear voice. If everyone stopped competing, the city might be more peaceful. Some people applauded, some smiled affectionately, but many began whispering. The whispers were loud enough to be heard. "She's cute, but she won't win." The competition intensified rapidly. Shops put up ostentatious signs. Luxury homes were open for viewing exclusively for supporters. Votes began flowing like money, and the whole town started bustling in an uncomfortable way. Shopkeeper, our shop only has items for winners, kid.
Rumors are spread every night. Small words are blown out of proportion. Innocence is twisted into weakness, and people begin to believe, because believing this is safer. Townsman, this child will halt the town's development. Another, innocence is an excuse for incompetence. Taidy walked through the market, watching people bargaining for their pride like they were mere commodities. A voice rang out from the crowd. A townsperson.
I used to like her, but I was too afraid to choose. Fear was beginning to outweigh sincerity, and the pastel-colored system began to reveal itself as a survival game for everyone. One night, Taidy sat counting her piggy bank. Her small hands trembled slightly. She asked her mother, "If I lose, does that mean I'm wrong?" Her question sounded simple, but it was filled with a fear that the town had silently instilled in her. Taidy's mother didn't answer. That silence wasn't because of a lack of love, but because even the adults themselves weren't sure if goodness was still enough in this town. The next day, Taidy appeared with a new gift, a personal fake cloud generator. Taidy, whoever chooses me will have clouds floating above their heads all the time. It signifies success. A symbol of success that everyone immediately understood. People were stunned. The girl who had previously refused to compete was now using the same rules as everyone else, and the votes soared rapidly. On election morning, Pastel Park seemed to achieve its greatest success in history. Low-lying white clouds hung overhead like personal symbols of victory. Those with clouds held a certificate proving they had arrived. People took selfies and shared them on the city's social networks. A resident commented, "This is the result of choosing the right side." Another said, "Those without clouds haven't tried hard enough." Taidy stood on the stage, watching the smiling crowd. But those smiles weren't looking at her. They were looking up at their own clouds. Suddenly, a crackling sound emanated from the control equipment, an alarm that no one had ever heard, because the system was never designed to truly shut down. The cloud-generating machine malfunctioned. Thick smoke spread. The previously meticulously managed sky became a dangerous area. People began to shout. A townsperson, "Who's responsible?" Another, "How much did I invest? This isn't fair." Heavy rain. The rainwater washes away the sweetness on the candy coins. The sweetness that once deceived people's taste buds quickly vanishes, leaving only the salty taste of reality. It's salty. This isn't a reward. The salt, revealed as a symbol of labor, is the true price and scarcity. Something coated with sweetness, so people would swallow it without question. The entire city stands still, when no one knows who to blame, because everyone is a part of this system. After the rain stopped, Pastel Park was no longer its original color. Salt stains clung to the streets, houses, and people's clothes. The word happiness had disappeared from conversation. It was as if no one dared to utter its name anymore. Townspeople, now no one talks about happiness anymore. Taidy walked off the stage. Her pink shoes trampled through the rubble. Each step seemed to reinforce her decision. Arguments erupted amidst the ruins. Anger surged towards the little girl. But then someone spoke the truth. A man yelled at her, "She tricked us." Another woman retorted, "No, she just did what the system allowed." A truth that silenced everyone, because no one could escape this system. Taidy looked up and spoke, her voice trembling but clear. "I didn't force anyone to vote for me. I just proposed what everyone said was important." The mayor tried to salvage the situation, mentioning a technical error, mentioning moving forward, but no one was listening anymore, because those explanations had been used countless times before to cover up the damage caused by greed that was made to seem normal. Taidy clenched her fists. She understood then that winning in a system based on inequality was never a true victory for anyone. In the evening, the artificial clouds dissipated. The sky returned to its true nature. No labels, no prices. a sky that needs no proof to anyone. A townsperson casually remarked, "The sky is so clear." Taidy stood in the middle of the square. She took a pink hair clip from her hair. She placed it on a pile of salt, a symbol of a victory no one wanted anymore. There was no applause. There was no official announcement of the results. She spoke her final sentence without a microphone. "If happiness must be bought with trampling, I'd rather not be its caretaker." Taidy walked out of the city, leaving behind the vacant position, leaving behind the unresolved system, and leaving behind questions no one dared to answer. People stood gazing at the sky. For the first time, nothing floated above their heads. For the first time, there were no indicators. And for the first time, no one told them if they were good enough. One townsperson, "Are we good enough?" Taidy's story isn't about a child. It's about a society that transforms every value into a competition and calls that opportunity. An opportunity where those who are slower, more tired, or unwilling to compete are gradually seen as worthless. The townspeople murmur, "Is this really what they call opportunity?" When capitalism wears a mask of happiness and politics becomes a game of superiority, ordinary people are forced to choose between betraying themselves or being left behind without anyone telling them which choice is less painful. One adult says, "If you don't compete, you won't survive." Sometimes not playing by the rules might be the most honest form of resistance. Because if we lower ourselves to compete in the game of greed just to prove we are superior, the downfall isn't just of our possessions, but it will slowly gnaw away our very spirit.